This is gonna be the whole thing. It's actually just us fighting the whole time, bickering about shit.
Guys.
It's content at the end of the day. All right, welcome everybody to Townhall podcast. My name's Corey Wong,
I'm Maggie.
and this is our first episode. And
We're podcasters now.
yeah, we're podcasters, not by choice, I guess, by choice, but by necessity. I feel like we'll get into that a little bit. In this Town Hall podcast, we invite creatives, local creatives, to come on and talk about their struggles and successes of being a creative in Toronto through the lens of an Asian, through the Asian lens.
Because we are Asian.
Okay.
So not all guests on the podcast are going to be Asian. So it's not going to be Asian exclusive.
Yeah.
So we'll make sure we get other perspectives as well.
But a lot of them will be Asian because that's just who we roll with as well too. Just like Maddie and Denz, our team here, all right, behind the camera. But yeah, Takes a Village is a whole community. And I guess we can get into a bit about what the village is about. Or should I go into myself first?
Yeah, I mean, maybe tell the people who you are. So this is a podcast about Toronto creatives, and we feel like, I wouldn't say experts, but uniquely qualified to be talking about this sort of experience because, well, I'm not a creative, but Corey is a Toronto creative. He's been in the music industry for how long? 15 plus years.
Yeah, 10 years as Hamlet, HMLT. That's my, I'm a music producer, so that's my moniker. 15, 20 years recording, playing shows, putting on shows, pretty much every facet of music.
Before you were Hamlet, what else? What did you do?
I played in bands, and that's actually when me and Maggie first met, was in high school, and I played in a band called Goodbye Norma Jean, and that's where...
An emo band?
An emo band. I had my hair long. My brother played drums, and we did that for quite a while, and then went into some experimental Mars Volta type Radiohead sounds, right?
But for people who are listening who know Corey now, he was the vocalist in that band in Goodbye Norma Jean.
Yes, I was.
We have to at some point we'll dig up some videos, some footage.
Oh, it's hidden.
We have a friend who claims he has a CD.
Yeah, Mike has
from
some
back
stuff.
in the day. So
Oh,
we'll dig that up so you guys can hear Corey's beautiful voice.
Yeah, I'll remaster it, and then we'll re-release it again too. and now that I have some infrastructure,
the 20th anniversary of GNJ.
GNJ. Yeah, that's how I got started, and that's when you first fell in love with me, right, baby? Back in high school.
Your bangs in your face, and I was like, that's the guy for me.
And my my tight girl pants and stuff. Classic. So yeah, I've been playing in bands my whole life. Started actually doing RCM piano, for those who know classical piano, and then went into playing bands. I went into university and not stopped doing rock, just kind of explored a bit more. That's when I got into hip hop, soul music, Badu, roots. And then from there, I started production because the band broke up. And I was like, well, fuck those guys, man. I still got to make music. So I went off and started producing and learning how to produce on my own. And that's kind of how Hamlet got started about 10 years ago. But before that, was still doing a lot of music. Yeah.
From Hamlet to Town Hall, there's some years in between. So how did we get here?
So, as an artist and a music producer, I felt that, being in it a long time doing music, a lot of creatives have a lot of focus on the creation portion, right? And what I found when we were releasing music was that, we would spend a lot of time creating, but nothing would come from the releases. There wasn't infrastructure, there wasn't a plan set up, there wasn't any proper marketing or anything. So when it came to the actual release, it didn't do as well. So Toronto is known actually musically for lacking infrastructure. And what I decided to do, instead of, playing more shows and trying to put myself out there more and more in exposure, which I already did, was I created my own label.
Takes a Village Music.
Which is Takes a Village Music, all right? And this is all part of that ecosystem, this podcast called Townhall. Takes a Village, the name for those who don't know, comes from actually my name as Hamlet, the producer, is
HMLT, no vowels.
No vowels, yeah.
Vowels are for losers.
Yeah, during that time, subtracted all those guys. But it's my dad's name, Hamlet, which is a pretty interesting name for a Chinese guy. And I decided to take on his name because he passed, and I wanted to, have him live on in my music. And Hamlet, actually, he would always tell us it wasn't Shakespeare. It was actually a little village, or Hamlet is known as like a smaller than a village. So that's where I got Takes a Village, because to become bigger, we need the people. And for me as a producer, I've always been about community. I can't even release music myself, right? If I want to complete a song, I need to work with a lot of artists. So all the projects I've released were always like 8 featured artists, 10 featured artists, right? So I've always needed a community to build my music in the first place. That's where I got Takes a Village from. And we started as a community studio in Chinatown. My buddy had a space. He said, hey, Shout out Eugene Wong, yeah. He's lived there for, I think, 10 years, and they were finally planning to move out. And he said, hey, I'm going to move out, but use the space. Do music, do something, right? And I had sublet there for a couple months, a couple years before that. So I was like, yeah, for sure. I've had a lot of people come through before. So we turned the whole space into a studio. Very affordable. I call it community studio because it's $100 membership for the month, and that got you 4 sessions in the month, like 1 per week, right? And I wish there was something that I could, have like that growing up, but I wanted to provide that. And through the year that we existed, we had like 100 artists, musicians, lots of people come through. Some people just between studios, like Junior T needed a spot for a month or whatever, they would come through. So met a lot of people like Eric Ryan, like Sonia, a lot of these guys that I work with from that studio as well. And then financially, it just didn't make sense. I actually was working so much, I didn't even have a chance to really go to the studio to work on music. So eventually it just didn't really make sense for me. So I decided to stop the community studio, but that's when I decided to go forward with the label. So Takes a Village was always supposed to be a label. I used it as the community studio name because it's a great name to build a community studio, because it takes a village to build that. But now it is the label. And our first release was in 2022 with Eliza Plaza.
The labels.
The label's first release, yes. Anxiety. Banger song. Love that one. So it did well. And from there, I started releasing my own music. And that did well as well, too. So people started hitting me up. Hey, how are you getting on playlists? How are you getting this? How are you getting that, right? And for me, I just want to help the younger generation, the younger artists. And so I opened it up and gave access to a lot of different artists for, not a lot of percentage. I just want to be as artist friendly as possible. I don't want to gatekeep, and I want to give others opportunities, kind of like the ones that I didn't have growing up, So yeah, and here we are now, I guess.
I guess it gets us into where we are recording and what this space is and what you use it for.
Right, yeah. So it's pretty interesting right now. Downstairs, there's a session going on. So I started renting a studio space just once a week, and we've been holding these potluck sessions. That's what I call them. And we have a variety of artists and musicians, invite only, but guys that I choose, and then, they bring in their friends and stuff. And we just work on music and we create, and we've been doing it since September.
You call it potluck sessions
because I was just thinking about what is something communal. I like the idea of food, and we'll get into that too, because I do want to have a lot of food aspects in this podcast as well. And even with our release, I have some ideas about incorporating food and chefs, because Toronto's food scene is thriving, unlike the music scene. So I'm just kidding. So we need to, I don't want to say latch on, but it's like we need to just collaborate. We need to kind of get ourselves outside of the music box. And that's kind of how this podcast came in the first place as well too. As much as it is to give ourselves a voice to rant about the struggles in Toronto and talk about being Asian and growing up as Asian in the music industry. It's also just part of the ecosystem. It's the next step for us to have content, to push ourselves, to brand ourselves, so you guys can see my face, right, and know what Takes a Village is, right? So it's not necessarily, I'm not looking to become a podcaster, but it just seems that it makes the most sense. I can't release a song every day, and even then it's like for artists to be, listen to my music, please listen. Oh, put out a new reel. Oh, come on, push the link in the bio. We don't have that much music to release, and it's a little much to always be kind of asking people to listen to your music. So I think this podcast is just kind of the natural step towards, getting ourselves out there, right, without having to beg them to listen.
So funny because we've the two of us have been listening to podcasts like the last little bit. Like we've just been, I don't know, it's just like new content to consume, I guess.
Yeah.
And the podcasts that we seem to really enjoy and connect over the most are ones that, are artists that we both grew up on and are like around our age, and like they share their experiences and they're something that we can connect to. So it's kind of the goal of this podcast is to share some of the experiences that we've been through as well.
Mm-hmm. As a couple.
Also, well, like,
is this a therapy session?
Also, like based on age, like it may not. I don't want to expose my age, but we are both older than we look.
Yeah.
And with that, we have some life experiences, and it's kind of like what you said, like when you want to share, like with the label, like with the younger generation of musicians, like the types of things that you've gone through. I think there may be, I don't know if there is, but there may be some things like in terms of lifestyle that we can share as well.
Yeah. You call them nuggets, right? Some
nuggets of wisdom.
Nuggets of wisdom, right? From
hopefully, I don't know.
From your friendly older generation. Again, we won't tell you guys how old we are. You guys can guess in the comments or whatever if we have any comments. If anybody's watching this.
Corey's been doing music for 15 plus years, 20 years.
No, yeah.
More than that.
More than that, yeah.
Starting high school.
So
yeah,
do the math.
Do the math. How old are we?
Yeah, exactly. Maggie just had her birthday last week, actually. So yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
So in terms of other things that we can expect from this podcast.
You can expect a lot of other guests, creatives, like I said, music focused, obviously, but I don't want to just stick with music. Like I said before, there's a really big food and restaurant and chef community in Toronto. And it's funny, they're all our age now, these owners and everything, right? I chose the wrong craft. Yeah. But I would love to have them in here. I would love to collaborate with them, just to give you guys a little sneak peek of whoever's listening now, the project. Because did I even talk about the project yet? Oh man, there's so much to divulge, so much lure. But going back to where we're recording right now, we're actually at a studio that I record, that I rent out once a week, and I invite a lot of artists and musicians. So over the past, since September, we have about, I want to say 10 to 12 tracks that we're very proud of. So like pretty much one per week that we're really happy with. We have about 10 to 15 to 20 instrumentals that may be dropped as a beat pack, hint. And then we have like 20, 30, 40 throwaways or whatever, just jams, right? So that's where we're on top of. This is just the second floor of that studio. So I thought, we should just record a podcast while they're doing music. Now this project, it's going to get released today. I'm very about not holding on to music anymore. Now that I have a bit of infrastructure with Takes a Village, I'm able to kind of get all the marketing ready, the release, the cover art. And the concept, again, is pot-like sessions. Going back to food, I want to, I don't know if I should divulge so much, but I want to collaborate with chefs on the cover art, and going further than that. But essentially, the cover art will be dishes made by chefs, and we'll figure out some creative ways.
Early on in the ideations.
Still figuring it out, but very excited about it because it gives us a way to, we're at like 10 now. 10.
You think it's gonna be more?
We're making more now, so it's hard to say. Like the tracks. Oh, you can tell. You're like, nah, this track's fire. you just know. Everybody knows. And then some of the tracks, like the guys will ask me, hey, this one going on the project, like, is this a single? Like, we gotta release this one for. I'm like, yeah, man, for sure. Like, we definitely have to, right? So we decide as a village, as a team together.
You're the executive
Producer, I guess. Yeah. I don't want to make this joke. I'm the cult leader.
takes a village. The chief
of the village chief. Yeah, that's better. All right. But yeah, that is what you can expect from further episodes. You're gonna see, us talking about the music that we're gonna release, talking about upcoming shows, because Takes a Village is not just a music label. We're building into an event space as well. Not space, sorry, just an event. So last year we held some events called Welcoming Asian Creatives. Welcoming Asian Creatives, and we just have a lot of creative Asians from the city come into one place. There's some live music, there's some activities and things, but just a safe space for people to meet and collaborate. There's been a lot of cool things coming from that already, so I have one coming out in March, so see you guys in March, but I have a big one in May for AAPI month, and you guys should probably hear the first single around that time too. But yeah. Yeah, Asian North American, right? Right? Like we're just getting excluded.
ACPI, Asian Canadian.
Yeah, there's like
Pacific
CBC
Islander.
and then there's ABC, right? Chinese born, Canadian born, Chinese, and American born. No. Yeah, but I think it's all of us. It's all of us, right?
This is like completely different. ABC and CBC are completely different.
It's
anyways.
totally, yeah. Okay.
So next couple episodes, we're going to be introducing some villagers.
Yes, the next one we have, I want to bring on Troy and Sonia. Troy and Sonia are kind of the backbone to the village for me. There are two other producers. They've been coming pretty much every single week on the Mondays. They've been helping me engineer, do a lot of things as well too. So we're gonna bring Troy and Sonia on next for next episode, and after that we'll see some other artists and guests. The cool thing is that there's a lot of artists, like right now they're recording and they're jamming downstairs. So the cool thing about this podcast, it's like we could just pull homie from downstairs and be like, hey, you want to jump on for this or whatever, right? There's a lot of people rolling through. So yeah, welcome to the village.
Our hopes is to just introduce everyone to the village, the ecosystem, and like share more about the things that you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And again, not through reels, not through posts. Like this, I think is just a more makes more sense. We get to actually talk, and I don't have to put it in a nice 30-second thing. Or if it's 30 seconds, you're not going to listen to it, so I got to make it 15 seconds. And I'm salty.
I have no idea. Sorry, I disassociated. I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, cool. So yeah, is there anything else that we want to share this first episode? Hopefully it's not too boring. Sorry, this is like, I've never podcasted before.
Yeah,
we don't even really like have conversations at home, so this was
yeah, this is like therapy. It's half therapy.
A bit of a stretch.
Yeah,
we
for what we do.
workshopped this episode a lot and talked a lot about how to be natural.
Well, I tried to workshop it, and you were like, "We got the points. Let's just go in." And
yeah, we can't like plan everything.
You can't plan everything. You're right.
Too much.
Yeah, it is a little bit much. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, and we'll keep workshopping it, and we'll keep getting better. But like I said, we're not podcasters. We're here just to put on the people in the village, to let you guys know what we're about, to show you my face, my pretty face, so you guys know who I am, because I've been hiding in the shadows for a long time. Sorry, I was looking directly at the camera, just to do my own camera
Twirl
time.
your little curls, your curls.
Oh yeah, I got this perm done. Guess what Asian I am, for those who don't know. Don't let the curls fool you. All right, I think with this one, we can wrap up. It's going to be a quick one, just an intro, let you guys know what's up. We got to thank Denz, and Maddie. That's our Townhall team. All right, so give it up for them, and we'll see you next time. All right, babe? Maggie? Should I be calling you Maggie?
Next episode.
Next episode. All right. Thanks, guys.